dark world remember to be the light. Welcome to Black Swan Revelations. Here is your host, the Black Swan himself, Shane.
All right. We have a interesting episode today, so buckle up. Buckle up. We're going to be talking about the assassination attempt that happened a week ago. So this is basically an anniversary. Happy anniversary. It's kind of a weird thing to celebrate, but we're not so much celebrating it as we are analyzing the events of what happened surrounding it. I've showcased a lot of animations that various YouTube channels have created, and I've tried to come across as unbiased as humanly possible. I even tried to represent things from the shooter's perspective as much as possible to prove whether or not he's innocent, suspicious, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Like I hit it from every single angle. And some people get mad. They're like, hey, it looks like you support Trump. Looks like you don't support Trump. It looks like you're not reading enough of the Bible into this. You're not adding scripture, or you're talking too much politics on this channel, whatever. Like, I get it. I understand. But I'm also, my job for this channel is to actually document what happens as we go, so that you can come back to this channel a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year from now and say, oh, this is what was being talked about at this time frame. So right now, what people are talking about is this an inside job? This is what, like, you go to every single channel. This is almost like a frenzy, a feeding frenzy, if you will, for conspiracy theorists. So if you like conspiracies, you're in that sector right now where everybody's like, who do you trust? All this kind of stuff. Like, this is an inside job. The Secret Service let him down. How is this even possible? Like, there's so much going on right now. And it's rare for someone to say, it looks like this was an outside attack. As in, when I say outside, I'm talking about outside the U.S. Right now, all eyes are pointed internally. Like, you can't say it was China. You can't say it was Russia. You can't say it was Ukraine, Iran, any of those kinds of things. Because, again, right now, the rumors are flying around the Secret Service. And specifically, I think they're coming at it from the angle of letting Trump down versus the idea of it was fake. It was all a hoax, all this kind of stuff. No, like a person died, really died. People really got shot. Shots were really fired. So now you can pose an argument. What actually happened? Was it planned in advance? That's a fair question, because the JFK was planned, inside job, all this kind of stuff. So, and we know this. So now it's like, okay, is this another JFK type of thing that actually failed? So I am gonna bring in some scripture today, because I think this is interesting. This was brought to my attention probably 3-4 days ago. A gentleman by the name of PJ said, maybe look into this from the angle of Genesis, with Joseph and the cupbearer and the baker. You guys probably, you might be familiar. I guess if you're not a Christian, you won't be familiar with the story, but we're going to go through this, and I'm going to share my analysis and try and tie this in with the assassination attempt. So this will be interesting. Again, this happened a week ago, almost a week ago, on a Saturday night. And I remember exactly what I was doing. I was actually watching the trial of Alec Baldwin on YouTube. And then I quickly switched over once I heard that Donald Trump was somebody had an attempt on his life, and I watched it about 51 minutes after it actually happened. So I was able to rewind the footage, and then I just watched it from then on. I watched probably 30 minutes, well, really right from the beginning. I just started watching it because back then, CNN, ABC, all these networks were piped into one network. I think it was CNN that was showcasing the rally. So all the feeds were the same, and you can actually, they were recording about an hour or so before. Now it's very hard to find footage of the rally leading up to the event, like unedited in its entirety. Usually what happens is they start it when Trump goes to grab his ear, and then they move forward, and then they give you all their theories and stuff. But what I like to see is I like to see what was going on 20, 30, 40 minutes before the event started. And we're gonna look at it from the perspective of just being unbiased. We're gonna pretend that we are just witnessing the event from the first time. So I'm gonna play about 20 minutes of the Trump assassination. So probably 10 minutes before, and then 10 minutes after, so that you can get an idea and get a good look at the crowd, because I think it's important. There's lots of stuff going on, lots of rumors about who these people are. Were these people paid actors, if you will? Were they CIA agents? Were they FBI? Were they Secret Service in the crowd queuing up the snipers, telling them what to do, when to shoot, all this kind of stuff? There's even rumors that there was actually somebody on a tower. I've looked at the footage. It's pretty blurry. And I'm always looking at it from the perspective, can you rotoscope an image over top of another image? Can you make it look like something was there? So that's how I approach it. And it's very difficult to look at the video of the tower and then go, yes, 100% there's somebody on the tower. I could say you can lean on the side that there was somebody on the tower versus not, based on the image I saw. Again, it's blurry. It's really blurry because I think what happened was a camera was just happened to be scanning the crowd, and then somebody took that image, that video, and then zoomed in on it all the way to the tower. And again, because it's digital, it doesn't matter how good of software you have, you're going to have pixelation like crazy the more you zoom into something. So the only way to get around that is to actually have someone, whether it's a sniper or someone else, that actually zooms in on the tower. And by then you have to have a really good camera. So somebody probably videotaped the tower. I think that's just, I think common sense would dictate it. It's just a matter of whether or not we're going to see actual footage of that. So without any further commentary, let's actually, let me just say hi to people on the channel right now. Saint JPM, welcome, 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 welcome. My name is Shane, the host of Black Swan Revelations, and I try to do a live show every single day. And the idea behind my channel, of course, is I center it around the idea that perhaps we are in a Black Swan event, and we don't even know it, because that is part of the criteria of being in a Black Swan event, is you don't know it. So the people at Butler did not know that they were entering into a Black Swan event. They thought they were going into a Black Swan rally, but they were going to a Black Swan event. They're getting tickets, they were booking flights, everything. They had no idea that they were about to enter into the world of the Black Swan. Nobody knew that that was going to happen. So, again, the criteria for a Black Swan event is it's highly improbable. You can't predict it. You can hint at it and stuff, but you can't predict when it's going to happen exactly. And because there's been so many rallies and stuff, you can't say en masse that people are just like, oh yeah, Butler, definitely going to get assassinated. Definitely. Nobody was saying that. I wasn't saying that. But a week before, Bob Barber was suggesting that this is eerily quiet. And I agreed with him when I was hosting Uptime Community Church. The idea that, man, it feels like you're right in the middle of a storm, like the eye of the storm where it's quiet. There's nothing going on right now. It's just a big lull. And there's stuff going on in Israel, Ukraine. I get it and all that stuff. But it wasn't, people's eyeballs weren't glued to one thing. It was just kind of dispersed all over, just a little hum. That's about the best way to describe it, just a dull hum. But now all eyes are on Donald Trump. All eyes are on the Republican Party. All eyes are on Butler. And now the conspiracy theories are going all over the place. Like they're going all over. And you can't help it because they're not being honest with us right from the get-go. They weren't being honest with us. And if you don't be honest right out of the gate, you're forcing us to come up with theories and ideas and animations and all kinds of stuff. Had you came clear right out of the gate and said, we think this is an inside job, I'm telling you, people would have just waited. But because you're like, yeah, nothing to see here, folks. Don't look. Don't pay attention to anything. The crowd. Don't pay attention to how this person got onto the roof. It's okay. Don't pay attention to all the stuff, how they took care of Trump. Just ignore it. And once you start saying that, people start looking into it. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? So, yeah. So it was interesting leading up to that it was very, very, very quiet. Very quiet. Welcome, Christopher. Welcome, Andrew, again. Fat Check These Hands. Great channel name. Paul Housen. Let's see. Who else do we have on here? I have a few others. I think some people are watching from your TV. If you're watching from your TV, maybe let me know this. I don't know how you can do it. What I do when I'm watching YouTube channels from my TV and I'm watching a live show, what I'll do is I'll actually take my phone and I'll go onto that channel live so that I can comment with my phone because I don't have a smart TV. It's just a regular TV set, so I can watch the comments going by, but I can't interact because I'm not logged on my TV. I'm just watching the video. But I think what happens in this day and age is people just watch videos from their TV. Maybe they're driving or whatever it is, and they don't get a chance to comment. But because this is live, these comments go away after the live event, after this live video. So just keep that in mind. This is the beautiful thing. If you have a comment to make, this is the time to make it because we're going live and you can actually interact with me. If there's a comment or if there's a suggestion or something like that, you can mention it on here. That's the beautiful thing about going live. So, all right. So we have Heather. Welcome, Heather. Christopher Christ. I like showing the names, too, of people because after when the comments go away, it looks like that there isn't as many views right out of the gate until it takes a little bit of time for YouTube to populate it. People are like, no comments. Well, there's comments going on all the time on this channel. People are talking about this. So Gape Love only just heard about this about Trump. I don't watch the news. Yeah, so some people are still catching up. Some people, believe it or not, have lives. They don't hang onto YouTube every single day. And that's admirable. Very admirable. So hi from Arkansas. That's Fact Check These Hands. What else we got going? Hey, family. And we're going to dive into this real quick here. Oh, hang on here. I'm watching for anything to happen tonight. Tomorrow. Yep, that's fair. Pittsburgh. Hi from Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh. Awesome. Welcome, Christopher. News has been a little quiet. 44th is running everything. Genesis 6, time of the shooting. Ooh, that's interesting. King James V, the earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. Interesting. Wow, I didn't know that. 6:11, probably Eastern, I'm guessing. All right, let's see here. Keep looking up. The family rapture, very likely happening this fall. Rumor has it that possibly there was another shooter. We don't know if it was friendly or not. So it could have been one of the Secret Service. It's interesting that the Secret Service is SS. Doesn't that jump out at anybody here? SS. I know it's kind of weird, but yeah. So the idea is there was somebody on the tower, but here's the thing. I'll call them Sniper Group A and Sniper Group B. There's 3 barns behind Trump, and we're going to show this a little bit. 3 barns. First barn is Sniper A, then there's blank, there's a middle barn, and then there's a third barn. Sniper A was looking through the scope. I think it was the partner with the scope. They both had scopes, but one had binoculars as well that he was looking through his gun, and he had a headset. The guy standing up did not have a headset on. Only the guy that was, I think it was most likely his spotter, even though he had a gun. Both of them, or one of them, said that they thought the person on the roof was one of their own. You can't underestimate this. You can't throw this aside when a professional sniper says, I look through my scope and I saw the person on the roof had a rangefinder and he looked like one of us or an authority. I wasn't sure. That's important. And from all the evidence that I've looked at, they weren't the ones that fired on the shooter. It was Sniper Team B, which was further away. They fired 1 shot. So the shooter, the would-be shooter, whoever that is, don't know if it's his 20-year-old, don't know if it's someone else that was working for the authorities, if they made him a scapegoat. We don't know, because it's so mysterious how he got onto the roof. There's rumors that there's a ladder that was fixed, that was built in. There's rumors that they say that there was no ladder. There's rumors that an officer climbed the ladder and looked and saw a guy point a rifle at him, and then he went down off the roof, fell, who knows what. I'm not 100% sure if he saw a rangefinder. If the guy was pointing a rangefinder, don't know, because some of these cops are not experienced in sharpshooting and all this stuff. Let's just be honest. Some of the sheriffs are just, they don't have thorough training like they do with the Army or like they do with our RCMP in Canada. Like, these guys are trained in all kinds of weapons, but some of the sheriffs are not. So he might have just saw the guy look at him with a rangefinder and then fell off the roof. Who knows? But that wasn't the best place to put a sniper on that roof. And they said it. This is what they said. They said, no, like, it's too dangerous for people to lie on that roof and they could fall off. This is what authorities are saying. This is why you're feeding us conspiracy theorists by saying silly things like, it was too dangerous, there's not enough money to cover all these areas. Meanwhile, when people are pointing the camera saying, there's somebody on the roof, look, and then you see 2 officers in front of the building looking around going, where? It's like, up there, and they're not paying attention. You're making it suspicious by doing that. It would have been better for an officer to run to the person that's saying somebody's there, and then you turn around, you pull out your gun, you're yelling at the guy to get off the roof. That seems more plausible than if you see the guy brandishing a gun, then you take him out. But they didn't do that. They ignored the people. Some people say 26 minutes early, the people were noticing this guy on the roof. So I'm telling you, when you start piecing all this stuff together, it gets crazy. It gets crazy. Okay, so let's get some scripture in us. How about that? Let's get some scripture in us. let's go to Genesis 40. And we're going to talk about the butler. In the King James Version, it talks about the butler. In all the other versions, it's like cupbearer. So, all right. So let me pull this up to full screen so you guys can see it. There we go. All right. Oh, let me get rid of that backdrop. It's kind of weird now. Let me get rid of this here. Boom. I think this would be better. Let me put this one up instead. There we go. Okay, that's better. All right, so let's read Genesis 40, and then I'll share my thoughts as we go. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt. The Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers, against the chief of the bakers. So let's talk about this right out of the gate here. What's going on here? So the chief butlers is the guy that's in charge of, many people go, oh, he's just in charge of tasting. He's the guy that personally tasted the wine of Pharaoh. I'm going to suggest to you that he was responsible for more. He was responsible for seeing who the guests were coming in. He was responsible for making sure the guests are taken care of. He's responsible for over all the servants that were before the Pharaoh, including the wine served and the food, the meals being prepped, everything. He's overseeing all the butlers. And remember, the butler's job is to specifically as well is to sample the food. It could be food, it could be wine. It's not just wine. It's water, it's any liquid, it's anything in the presence of the Pharaoh. So if somebody brings an hors d'oeuvre, they have to check it out. They have to know where it comes from, everything. This is the responsibility of the chief butler over butlers and over bakers. That's his job, is to make sure everything is cool. He sees everything. Nothing gets near Pharaoh that doesn't belong. If you are a guest and you're not on the guest list, you're not welcome. If you're bringing food that we don't know about, you're not welcome. Wine, everything. It's the butlers underneath the chief butler that are responsible individually for tasting everything, and they answer to the chief butler. So in this situation, the chief butler offended Pharaoh. The chief baker also offended Pharaoh, with what we know looks like at the same time. Again, think of the chief butler over everyone, and then the baker over the food. The baker's not responsible for the guests. He's not responsible for drinking wine, sampling it, all this stuff. His job is over the preparation of the foods, ordering foods from other cities, other nations, all this kind of stuff. And he has bakers under him that are responsible for baking the food, the goods, fruits, vegetables, all kinds of stuff that are going to be served to the Pharaoh and to his guests. So the Pharaoh, or the chief baker, is in charge of making sure everything is properly ordered. So the buck stops at him when it comes to food and wine. You can't blame the bakers for cooking the stuff, because the chief baker is the one that is responsible for bringing it in. And I think there was an assassination attempt on Pharaoh's life, which could include wine. It could include poison. It could include somebody that's there that's not supposed to be there, cooking who knows what. But just to give you a little bit of a perspective as to the roles of the butler, the chief butler, and the chief baker. So we'll continue, and hopefully that makes sense. And if you have any questions around it, let me know this as well. So far, anything crazy? Am I saying anything crazy? Let's see here. Somebody's saying Brother Paul's fired up now. Let's see what's going on here. Had constant radio communication. Yes, 100%. 100%. I agree. And we'll come to that. So let's go back to the butler. Let's go back. We're only on like verse 2. So in the Pharaoh's wrath against 2 of his officers, against the chief of the butlers, and against the chief of the bakers. And again, we think of the butler as the person that's only responsible for sipping wine and handing it to Pharaoh. But the chief of the butlers has more responsibility than that. And the same thing with the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in ward. So this would be Pharaoh's inner prison, if you will. This is not like a regular prison where you have slaves, all kinds of stuff coming in, people that have committed crimes, all this kind of stuff. This was the innermost prison for Pharaoh until he figures out what happens to these people. So this is the idea. This is almost like a different level of prisoners. These are special prisoners that have offended Pharaoh. They're not like criminals off the street, just so you know. And Joseph was in charge over them. So this is Joseph's responsibility. He was bound in this area of the prison. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in ward. And they dreamed the dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, We have dreamed the dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me then, I pray, tell me then, I pray you. All right. And so verse 9, and the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and the vine were 3 branches, which is interesting here. We'll talk about this. And it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And the Pharaoh's cup was in my hand. I took the grapes and pressed them into the Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Remember, this is a dream. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it, 3 branches or 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee unto thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into thy hand after the former manner when thou wast his butler. So you'll be restored. Before that, you're under suspicion of a potential assassination attempt, because that would really be the only reason why he would be put in this ward, is until they can investigate it. But think on me. So this is Joseph saying, this is what's going to happen to you, to the butler. And then he says, But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. So if we're going to compare this Butler incident, I would suggest that Pharaoh would be Trump, and the Secret Service would be Butler in this instance. And the baker would be the local authorities, the sheriff, the people outside of the Secret Service, outside of the people directly responsible for Donald Trump. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of Hebrews also, and here also I have nothing that they should put me in this dungeon. I am innocent. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also. So the chief baker saw that, oh, okay, this is interesting. Joseph gives a dream or shares his interpretation, and it's a good report. So now the chief baker says, now that he saw the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there was all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket of my head. Baked meats. I never heard that before. Baked meats. Yeah, I'm on the right version. Weird. Have you guys ever heard this before? Baked meats? I thought it was just baskets, white baskets. Huh. Weird. I thought it said white basket in my Bible. Hang on here. Let me come back to you. This is interesting. So I'm going to read my physical Bible here. So let me see here. I, Joseph, be hit. Oh, yeah, 3 white baskets. Okay. I thought maybe I missed something. I just can't read. That's all. Okay, coming back. When you read the Bible over and over again, you start paying attention to words, and you're like, I thought it said white baskets, but I just had to read a little bit. All right. So when the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream. Behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. Okay, there it is. And in the uppermost basket was there all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh. So all kinds of stuff being prepped. All right, so the uppermost basket. That's interesting. So he saw what was in the uppermost basket. There was all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. So it's interesting that we see upon my head, because in the Old Testament or in the Bible, it's basically if you take responsibility on something, you basically say, put this on my head. Let me be responsible for this. So I will be responsible for this. So this is basically, it almost feels like this is a little bit of a confession to Joseph. He said, it was my responsibility to bring forth all kinds of meats to Pharaoh, meaning there could have been outside sources that brought meat to Pharaoh, and it was my job to make sure that everything was prepped and taken care of. It was my job to either allow or not allow outside sources to come in so that the Pharaoh could eat these meats. So he's basically saying that this was upon my head, which is interesting, right? So let's go back. Hopefully you guys are getting something out of this. I had 3 baskets on my head, and then did eat out of the basket on my head. Joseph answered, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee. Executed. Your head. It's your responsibility. You are admitting this was under your responsibility, and you will be hung. Shall hang on a tree. So whenever it says lift up thy head from off thee, they're basically talking about hanging, talking about the idea that your headship is going to be removed. Why? Because you're getting executed. And the birds shall eat thy flesh from off the tree. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all the servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants, and he restored unto the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup unto Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them, yet he did not. The chief butler remembered Joseph, but forgot him. So this is kind of interesting. We can go in a whole bunch of different directions here. But the main thing I want to talk about is the idea that the chief butler gets restored. So let's just say there was somebody in Trump's inner office area in charge of the Secret Service. I think there's somebody above this lady, Kimberly, or whatever her name is. Let's just say that person is innocent, or if it's her, don't know. His innermost person would be promoted back to their original thing. So if this lady gets fired, she'll be brought back. If it's someone higher above, which is what I think it is, I just don't know the name, for his immediate, like the people that are responsible for protecting his life, I think that person will be restored back to that position, no fault found. Now, for the chief baker, to me, my humble opinion and interpretation means it's the authorities that were in Butler, in that area, that the responsibility is going to be over them, and whoever's in charge, if that's the sheriff or if there's someone else, local law enforcement, I think somebody's going to have their head, as in they're going to be fired. And when you think about it, the Republican rally was 3 days later after this. So we have to remember that they forgot about Joseph for 2 years. So this investigation might last 2 years for all we know. We don't know. So this is just my interpretation, loose interpretation. I think the Secret Service are going to be found innocent, but the local authorities are going to be held responsible. This is my guess, that there's somebody's head is going to fall, meaning somebody's going to get fired because they allowed somebody to get onto that roof. And if it's outside of the Secret Service jurisdiction, that comes on them. And I would make that equal to the baker analogy in Pharaoh's dream. So if I could look at it, I would say the butler are the Secret Service, and specifically the chief butler would be the person that's in charge of the Secret Service. I believe that person will be found innocent. And then the chief baker is responsible, because basically the chief of the town, when you think about it, they call him a chief or a sheriff or whatever. So I think that person is going to lose his head over this. Like, he's going to lose his authority. He's going to get fired. He's going to get reprimanded. Whoever is responsible for that rally outside of the Secret Service. So I don't know what department that would be, but Trump has basically handpicked men, women that protect him. And those were the ones that were on the stage blocking his body and all this kind of stuff. So I don't think it's their fault. But again, there's so much suspicion. Like, why did you allow the photographers from the Washington Post, the Gazette, all these other, like there's 4 of them in the pit? Why did you allow them to go around the front just right seconds before the assassination attempt? What did you know? Anyways, so that's just kind of my 2 cents. Now we're going to, I'm going to go to the comments. Let me know what you think so far of my little analogy of Genesis 40. And then we're going to go to the original footage of the assassination attempt. And I want you, as we're watching, to pay attention to the crowd. There's a couple of people that I think are suspect. I called the one guy the time traveler boy. He just looks weird. His name is Vincent. I looked him up, did some research. I think he was running for the Senate, just an odd Italian duck. And then there's another lady that people are saying that there's no way on earth she should be recording at the time of the assassination. Like, a sign goes up in front of her face, goes down, and then all of a sudden she pulls up her phone. Well, I watched the footage just like you guys are going to watch it, and she was recording the whole time. She was recording everywhere. It wasn't just, she was taking in the event. And then once in a while, she would swipe the videos just to have a look at what she was recording. And she was recording and she was cheering at the right time, all this kind of stuff. So I don't put any suspicion on her. Some people say, well, she didn't flinch and all this kind of stuff. Possible. But that's not something to make you guilty because you don't flinch. But this Vincent guy, to me, is so suspicious. And maybe it's because of the way he looks, but he did not flinch at all. And in fact, I'm going to make a note of this for you to pay attention. If you picture me pretending that I'm Trump, and this side is where Vincent was, up over here when you're looking at the screen. He's here, and he appears to have an argument with someone over here because he's lifting a flag in front of people in front of him, and they didn't want the flag to be in front for some reason, or the sign or whatever. So then he turns and he has an argument. How could I do this like this? He's having an argument with the guy, and then he makes his way behind Trump and ends up over here. He ends up over here. So nobody else, as far as I could see, switched places like that by about 20 feet. As far as I know, I haven't been able to watch every single person, but only Time Traveler Boy makes the switch behind Donald Trump. He goes from one side. He goes from, let's see, from here over here. And I'm going to pause it and I'm going to showcase it and let you know. Then there's one guy, I call him the Joker. I need another name, maybe Cowboy Bob or something like that. He goes like this. After Trump is shot, he goes like this. Awkward, right? Awkward. I feel awkward doing that. But the reason why I mention this is I want you to pay attention to those people. I want you to pay attention to the switcheroni of Time Traveler Boy and ask yourself, why would somebody get a better position when you're in the crowd? Like, why would you go over here? And then somebody patted him on the back because he had his head down and they're like, it's okay. Don't know why. Mysterious. And the guy looks at Bob, Cowboy Bob. They both look at each other and kind of smile a little bit. And then they look away. And Time Traveler Boy goes like this. Looks at Cowboy Bob. And then looks this way towards the snipers. And then goes like this. Puts his head down. Bang, 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 bang. The shooting begins. Lifts up his head. Does not phase. Doesn't move. He's just there, kind of looking around. Doesn't blink. Doesn't do anything. And then yells something at the Secret Service. I don't know what he yells. He yells something at them. I don't know what it is. Mystery, right? So, can anyone enlighten me, please? Chat, Brother Shane, I'm a little lost here biblically. What are you saying? Okay, no problem. I'm saying we went to Genesis chapter 40. Joseph was in the ward in a prison, in Pharaoh's top security prison, because remember, he was Potiphar's main man. Nothing was above Joseph except Potiphar himself and Potiphar's wife. So he got put into this special prison. This isn't an ordinary prison for slaves, for people, criminals, all this kind of stuff. This is Pharaoh's innermost ward, prison. So Joseph was now the captain of that ward put Joseph in charge over all the prisoners that were coming in to that section. And we have a butler and a baker show up. These aren't ordinary people. This person was the chief butler, and we have the chief baker. The chief butler is responsible for everything coming in before Pharaoh's presence, including guests. That's so important. So he would be responsible for checking the guest list. He's overseeing all the butlers. He's overseeing all the bakers as well. Nothing gets past the chief butler's eye. He looks at everything, everyone. If you're not on the guest list, you're going to be removed. If you're serving something, you just don't belong there, out. And the chief baker answers to the chief butler. So the chief butler can say, what are you bringing in? What meals are responsible are you going to be presenting before the pharaoh? And the butler checks them all off, as in the baker is approving all of the stuff that's being served. And his duty is he's responsible for all the ingredients coming in to the kitchen, whether it's wine, dessert, fruit, vegetables. He is ordering all the stuff from other parts outside of Egypt, including Egypt, but also outside, and he oversees all of the bakers. That's his job, is to make sure nothing comes in from the outside, no influence. He's responsible for all the food that Pharaoh eats. The chief butler is responsible for everything, and also responsible for handing the cup of wine to the Pharaoh himself. And he makes sure by tasting it, obviously. But there are also other people that's their responsibility as well, for making sure people don't get poisoned, all kinds of stuff. Like, there's so many guests to take care of, it's not even funny in regards to the Pharaoh's palace. People coming and going, paying tributes, all this stuff. That's what the chief butler is for. So I'm drawing an analogy that the chief butler is the person that's in charge of Donald Trump's Secret Service. Now, I think it was a woman. I think that's a woman. Not sure what her name is, Kimberly. I should know the name by now, but I got a lot of names in my head. So whoever is in charge of the Secret Service, the people that are protecting Donald Trump with their body, I believe that person is going to be put back to normal, like their rightful position, whoever that person is. They're not going to be found at fault. Again, this is my interpretation. That's why you come to my channel. The baker represents the authorities around the Secret Service, as in the local sheriff's department, anybody responsible for the rally, all this kind of stuff. Whoever the top person is outside of that district of the people protecting Trump during the rally, if you're the sheriff, whoever, that person is going to be found guilty. They're going to lose their head, meaning they're going to be responsible for, it's an inside job. The local authorities, whoever is responsible in Butler, I believe that person's head is going to be on the line. Whether they get executed, don't know. It's a little extreme, but for sure they're going to get fired and most likely prison. Most likely prison. That's my interpretation of Genesis 40 based on this event here in Butler, and I believe this was a Black Swan event. This is something not to be taken lightly, and we're going to get more stuff coming up. It's only been a week. All right, so let's see what everybody is saying here. Chief taster for poison. Well, not necessarily. I understand what you're saying, like a chief taster for poison, but you got to understand that you have a person that's responsible for guests and everything coming in to the presence of Pharaoh, and he has butlers as well under him. And I think it would make more sense to have a butler that's under you tasting the wine, and then if he dies, it's like, yeah, that's poison, king. Don't touch this stuff. Because you still need, it would be ridiculous to have the head of Secret Service stopping bullets for Donald Trump. That doesn't make sense to me. So the chief butler is responsible for everything. Yes, you could pose an argument and say, okay, maybe you have a butler that tastes the wine and then hands it to the chief butler, and he says, this is good to go because this guy is alive and I'm handing it to you. There has been no third party intervention. Like, I didn't make this guy give it to you after tasting it because he could have spit it out and then handed it to you and then you die. So basically, I'm watching this guy taste the wine. He's drinking it. I'm like, swallow that wine. Swallow it. Swallows it. Give me the wine. How's he doing? Any reactions? Nope. Good to go. I'm giving this wine now personally to Farrell. It doesn't necessarily mean he's tasting it. That's how we think of things. We're like, oh yeah, taste. Okay, well, your best guy, your most loyal guy that you trust with your soul, your life, he's dead because he tasted poison. And now you got to replace him and find somebody else that is as loyal as your chief butler. That's not easy to do. So what I'm suggesting to you is this guy makes the other butlers taste the wine first, and if they live, he's not going to give it to someone else. He's going to personally take that cup and hand it to the Pharaoh himself because it's approved. He's approving it. Same thing with somebody else tasting it. A butler could taste a piece of bread. Taste it. Good? Okay, give me that plate. And hands it to the Pharaoh. That's what the chief butler does. That's what the Secret Service does. They don't block bullets for Donald Trump. They are overseeing the Secret Service. They're saying, I think this person is qualified to put their gun in the holster at the right time. And again, I'm giving the lady a little bit of a break because I'm telling you, it's all chaos. This could be World War III. This could be the end of the world. And I don't fault her for missing her holster on there. Like, we put a lot of stuff in, a lot of thought into it, but we've never thought about the idea of what happens if your president dies on your watch. Is it possible that you might, while you're trying to keep a look around, that you might miss where your holster is? Don't know. So we assume everybody's good at pulling the gun in and out after somebody that you're responsible for gets shot or killed. We just assume that's what happens to people. So I'm giving her a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I'm saying, yeah, it's possible that because she's watching to see if anyone else is going to shoot at them, that she can't quite find the hole for her holster because it has to go in a specific way and then it locks into place where you can't just pull it out anymore. So I give her a little bit of a pass on that. All right. So hopefully this makes sense now. Definitely something weird happening. Yeah, I was suspect yesterday in your first live about there's definitely something weird happening. Yeah, so that's interesting, right? The more you talk about this, all of a sudden I'm not so crazy. So you have to go back to what I was thinking because I recorded a video. I went live 51 minutes after the assassination. So I watched the footage as you guys were watching it. The assassination attempt, I should say. So let's go watch it. Let's watch now the footage of the assassination attempt. And I will share my commentary now on it. Here we go. This is from Forbes breaking news. It's 21 minutes long. And it's very hard to find this stuff. It's getting very difficult to find it. So I'm gonna play it. Let's see here. Let's have a look. I'm going to make it full screen. We're going to watch it, and then I'm going to share my thoughts as we go. I'm going to make it full screen. That way you can still hear me. All right, here we go. Let's watch this. Let's watch this rally. Next to you and you can first till today. But there ain't no doubt I love you. One thing to note right out of the gate, can you count how many people are recording? Can you count? I can't. Maybe you can. It kind of feels like everybody's recording. So right away, I would have locked down all those cell phones. Now, most of them have the same angle. So to be fair, but you don't know what they were recording, what maybe somebody got something that someone didn't. I would have confiscated all those phones, especially behind the bleachers as well. All right, so let's continue. Everybody's recording. Okay, right out of the gate here, let's look at Time Traveler Boy, which is almost directly behind Donald Trump. And obviously Donald Trump is going to move to the podium, which would mean that on our right, Time Traveler Boy, and I'll point him out a little bit. It's a little bit hard to see, but he's wearing the weirdest hat. And he's got long hair. He looks like Michael Landon. He's got Michael Landon hair. Some people say this is John F. Kennedy Jr. that went down in a plane crash with his wife. Most people know him as Vincent, running for the Senate. And then we got Cowboy Bob on the left behind the 100 big sign. And this guy is suspicious to me. And I'll explain why a little bit later. But let's just continue now. And I want you to pay attention to Time Traveler Boy switching seats with, you see the lady to the left of the big sign? There's a lady with dark hair, and then to the left, our left, her right, is a lady with her arms up, fully extended in the blue. That's where Time Traveler Boy is going to be, on her right side, our left. So that's how far Time Traveler Boy has to move. And I'm going to slow it down, and I'm going to play when I see him start to move. But as you could see, everybody is, well, there's a lot of people recording still behind Trump. Okay, fair? Let's go. Okay, so notice to our right, Donald Trump sign saying Trump 24. There's a lady to the left. I've seen many YouTube channels saying this lady is suspect because at the time of the assassination attempt, all of a sudden she picked up her phone. And I'm going to suggest to you that she was recording an awful lot, just like the guy to our left. He's recording. Even the lady with the fancy American sunglasses, or the American shirt sunglasses behind the lady that is to the left of the Trump 2024 sign, she's recording. There's lots of people recording, including to our left. You could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people recording. 7, I'm counting like 8 people recording. So again, Time Traveler Boy is behind the lady with the fancy sunglasses to our right, who is recording and cheering into the sun, which is the worst place to record a video. I would be surprised if you could see anything, because you're recording directly into the sun. And there's probably lights for the camera to make sure that there's not a lot of shadows, all this kind of stuff. It's going to be pretty bright. And then we got Cowboy Bob almost directly behind Donald Trump. Okay, let's continue.
This is a big crowd.
Okay, so Time Traveler Boy is now having a bit of an argument with someone to our upper right-hand side of the screen. So I'm going to back it up. Watch Time Traveler Boy above the lady with the funny sunglasses. We'll call her looks like it's pink. We'll call her Pink Lady. How about that? Because she's got pink sunglasses, is what it looks like to me. So Time Traveler Boy is having an argument with someone to his left, our right. And let me back it up a bit. So somebody puts a flag up in front, and I thought it was Time Traveler Boy, but I'm not 100% sure. That is a huge flag. It covers like 3 people, but somebody pulled it down right away. And I think it was the guy to our right, the left of Time Traveler Boy, that pulled it down saying, don't put this flag up in front of me. So it could be Time Traveler Boy's flag. So watch. It gets pulled down, and it might actually be our Cowboy Bob. No, I don't know who had that flag.
This is a big crowd. This is a big.
Yeah, so Time Traveler Boy is now upset. So it might have been his flag. Because again, let's back it up a bit. Yeah, it looks like Time Traveler Boy pulled it up. Somebody pulled it down, and now he's mad at the person to his left.
This is a big.
And Suspicious Girl on the front in, let's see, to Donald Trump's left, our right in the middle of the sign and Donald Trump. So there's a Trump 2024 blue sign and Donald Trump. The Suspicious Girl, people know who she is, but they're saying this is weird that she's recording. Well, she's recording right now before the assassination attempt. That is not a crime, just so you know, because the lady behind her is also recording. So you have to throw that out the window, that she's suspect because she's recording. Cowboy Bob is also recording. And Time Traveler Boy is heated over somebody to his left for some reason.
Big crowd. This is a big, beautiful crowd.
There we see again, Time Traveler Boy is still kind of upset for some reason to the person on his left. And Cowboy Bob is recording.
I wish the fake.
Now, Time Traveler Boy ducks down almost behind Trump. I don't know if he's grabbing something, but he is now going to be making his way over to our left. There's a lady to our left that's called, we'll call her Mean Tweets. She's all in blue. The Time Traveler Boy is going to be on her right, our left. That's how far Time Traveler Boy is going to be walking over. And it's weird. He's the only guy that makes a switch like this. Again, Suspicious Girl on the bottom right. She's recording like everybody else. Not a crime to record.
News back there would show.
So Time Traveler Boy is now directly behind Donald Trump, still looking at the person that ticked him off. And I think it was the guy on the far upper right-hand corner with the hat, Make America Great Again, with the sunglasses. I think he has a scarf around his neck. I think that guy ticked off Time Traveler Boy by not allowing him to have his little flag in front of 3 or 4 people.
Show it. I wish they'd spin their camera.
So he leans in to yell at somebody. He is not happy. Time Traveler Boy is not happy. So let's back it up again. So he's not moving, and he's going to move.
This is a big crowd. This is a big, beautiful
Like, I'm out of here.
crowd.
Yells at him by pointing his finger 2, 3, 4 times, yelling like, I demand to be in this spot. Or I don't know. I don't know what he's saying, but he's clearly upset. And leans in a second time, yelling at the guy.
I wish.
And then immediately goes away from him. So I think he was yelling at the guy in the upper right-hand corner.
The fake news back there would show it. I wish they'd spin their.
Now yells at him again, still yelling at him. Everyone else is paying attention to Trump's speech. Time Traveler Boy is yelling to the guy to his right. Are you guys following what I'm putting down here? Looks like my footage is cut out here a little bit. Give me 1 second. Seems like we're experiencing technical difficulties.
Their cameras and show it because nobody would believe it.
There we go.
You know, the other day, Biden was saying, I got big crowds meeting him. He gets.
Okay, so Time Traveler Boy has moved over, so let's back it up again. He is now on the left side of our screen, but watch him move from behind Trump to the left side.
I wish they'd spin their cameras
Yelling.
and show it because nobody would believe it. You know,
So Time Traveler Boy is now approaching our left-hand side of the screen. And he's going to move to the other side of Mean Tweets Girl. So again, we see the guy in the upper right-hand corner looking 180 degrees to Cowboy Bob. Is looking at him for some reason.
the other day, Biden was saying, I got big crowds meeting him. He gets big crowds. He doesn't know what a big.
So now, Time Traveler Boy is talking to Mean Tweets Girl.
And there were like 93 people.
They're having a conversation here. Maybe he's saying, the guy wouldn't let me put my flag up. I don't know. Like, I want to be able to call in the assassination attempt from where I am. I wasn't in a good spot. I don't know. Don't know. It's kind of weird, right? Remember, girl on the right is recording as well.
People there. 93.
So she looked at the guy that he's clearly talking to her. He's clearly talking to Mean Tweets Girl, explaining what the guy on the right did to him to make him go over here.
You know what that is? That's where the front row Joes sit, right here, 93. We got more than 93 front row Joes.
You have a killer e-commerce store, but your conversion rate, not so killer.
Hello, Butler, and hello to Pennsylvania. I'm thrilled to be back.
So now Time Traveler Boy is having a conversation with girl to his right for some reason. He's like, you are out of position. You should be directly behind Donald Trump. You shouldn't be here.
In this beautiful Commonwealth.
And Mean Tweet Girl knows this guy in the hat. So they're having a conversation. He told him that you have to be prepared because Donald Trump is going to be assassinated any second.
With thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots.
So he's talking to people behind him saying, get ready for the assassination attempt. And he's talking to the girl on his right as well.
And that's what you are. And we got to bring our country back to health because our country is going to hell if you haven't noticed.
So now he's telling Mean Tweet Girl to get in front of him so that he could move over to our right, Mean Tweet Girl's left.
Millions and millions.
And he's also having a conversation with the chick on the left, the blonde girl, I should say. He knows her.
The people are pouring in from prison.
She's saying something to Time Traveler Boy.
And from
and person on the right, and including the girl with the funny glasses. I called her Pink Girl. She is now talking to the guy that made Time Traveler Boy upset. She's looking more than 180 degrees. She's almost looking behind her, which looks like she's looking at the guy on the top right-hand corner.
mental institutions. We're going to stop it. We're going to get it stopped. We're going to bring them back. As he said, we're going to bring them back. We're going to deport.
So Mean Tweet Girl to Donald Trump's right, our left, is signaling to Time Traveler Boy something. Don't know what she's saying to him.
With the help of everyone here tonight, we're going to win Pennsylvania this November. We're going to defeat crooked Joe Biden and laughing Kamala.
Again, Sunglasses Girl is moving almost 180 degrees one way and then 100 degrees the other way, signaling to the guy in the top right-hand time, this is the time that you need to raise your fist to cheer.
As he said,
so she could be a coordinator for all we know. Don't know. But she's got the hat on, the USA hat. Watch her look at that guy and then watch her turn all the way around. And then we'll come back to Time Traveler Boy.
we're going to bring him back. We're going to deport. With the help of everyone here.
So now she's looking over her right shoulder for some reason.
Tonight, we're going to win Pennsylvania this November.
She's turning almost 360 degrees to the guy behind her. So you can't tell me these people aren't checking their phones, because this is probably the assassination attempt has got to happen at a certain time, because they're all checking their phones to see what time it is to make sure that they know where they're positioned.
To defeat crooked Joe Biden and laughing Kamala.
So again, this chick is going to her left, to her right. She's going back and forth.
Harris. And we're going to take back
this
the White
time-
House, and we're going to take.
Okay, so now we got to back up and let's follow Time Traveler Boy. And remember, he knows mean tweets, and he also knows the blonde girl to our left.
Bring in from prisons and from mental institutions. We're going to stop it. We're going to get it stopped. We're going to bring them back. As he said, we're going to bring them back. We're going to deport.
So now mean tweet says, now you probably should move behind me to almost directly behind Trump. So this girl is coordinating stuff as well. Mean tweet girl.
Deport.
Like, now's your chance to move.
With the help of everyone here tonight, we're going to win Pennsylvania this November. We're going to
So blonde girl says, is it my time to leave now? And notice the chick on the right side with the USA hat is looking at the guy in the brown shirt saying, we are seconds away from a firing, from shots being fired. Are you ready? And girl on left, blonde girl beside the black guy, is trying to wait for her cue to go behind Donald Trump.
defeat crooked Joe Biden and laughing Kamala Harris. And we're going to take back the White House.
So now blonde girl is saying, am I supposed to be behind Trump now? And mean tweet girl is saying, yes, you're supposed to be behind Donald Trump. You're in the wrong spot.
House, and we're going to take back our country. We're going to take it back. Our country's been.
So she's like, I need to be behind Trump. Girl on right is looking to the people above the brown shirt guy saying, almost to her right, saying, you guys need to be in position because shots are going to be fired any second. And in fact, she's actually pointing to someone to her right. So back to mean tweet girl on left. She is moving forward to allow Time Traveler Boy to be on her right and blonde chick to be on her left. I know this sounds like confusing to you guys, but believe me, I've watched this a lot of times.
Our country's been stolen from us. You see that? It's the greatest, one of the greatest crimes is what they've done over.
Okay, so now to back up again, now that you see that happening, Time Traveler Boy is getting into position. We have to watch. Oh, man, there's so much stuff going on. We have to watch USA hat lady, pink lady on the right, the left of Donald Trump, right of us. She's actually telling the guy behind her in the brown shirt to leave the screen, to go to his right and leave. Get out of there. Move. Move. And I'm going to come back to the audience just to make sure that I haven't lost you guys. Are you guys okay with this stuff so far? I just need to see if you guys are alive if you're watching this here. You're not going to get this anywhere else. I'm just telling you right out of the gate. Are you guys cool with this, what you're seeing? Like, there's people moving like this. And there's the lady on the right side, I guess it would be this side of Donald Trump, is turning around 180 degrees both ways, telling people what to do. And she told brown shirt guys, like, you need to leave this way. You need to leave the camera angle. And blonde chick over here is asking mean tweet girl, is this the time for me to go behind President Donald Trump? And she's like, yes, you need to be behind him. So then she goes behind. Time Traveler Boy goes beside mean tweet girl. He was over here, up here to start. And he got in an argument or something. He's like, you need to be ready, or you needed me to put up the sign or whatever it is. I don't know what he said to him, but he was not happy with him. and then moved over here, told Mean Tweet Girl that I'm not happy, and then she ends up patting him on the shoulder saying, it's okay, it'll be over soon. It's over. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back. All right, so
to win Pennsylvania this November, we're going to defeat crooked Joe Biden and laughing Kamala Harris.
So pay attention, and we'll go back to Time Traveler Boy, but pay attention to the girl with the cowboy hat on the right. We call her Pink Lady. No, she doesn't appear to be wearing pink, but her shades are pink, I guess. So she's got a USA hat. She's telling brown shirt guy I don't know what his number is on his shirt, 52 or I don't know what. She's telling him to leave.
And we're going to take back the White House, and we're going to take back our country. We're going to take it back. Our country's been stolen from us. You see that? It's the greatest. One of the greatest crimes is what they've done over 4 years and hiding what the obvious facts are.
So now she gets a better position, told that guy to leave, and then Mean Tweet Girl is allowing blonde chick to go behind Donald Trump, and Time Traveler Boy is going to take his rightful position beside Mean Tweet Girls, because I think this girl is responsible for a lot of the stuff that's going on.
Our country's been stolen from us. You see that? It's the greatest. One of the greatest crimes is what they've done over 4 years and hiding what the obvious facts are, isn't it? Huh? Isn't it a shame? You run for the president of the United States from a basement. All very dishonest stuff. But you know, we're gonna have the greatest election. I tell you what, we did.
So guy on right knows girl in pink sunglasses wearing the USA shirt. They know each other. Mean Tweets knows, and she's trying to make sure everything is positioned where she is, and they can't see anything because of the sun. So they're relying heavily on their markers on the floor where they're supposed to be at certain times, and also the timing of their cell phones.
Fantastically in 2016. We did much better in 2020. You know, we did much better. And it was rigged. It was a rigged deal, but we did much better.
So now, Cowboy Bob is going to position himself closer to Time Traveler Boy because they know each other. And now this is his cue because Time Traveler Boy is looking for him to be beside him at this time, and he's out of position. So Time Traveler Boy has to wait for Cowboy Bob to be beside him.
But it's nothing compared to the enthusiasm all over, not just in Pennsylvania, all over. There's nothing compared to the enthusiasm that we've seen over the last year.
And to me, the signs going up in front of Mean Tweets just allows her to be able to yell out a little bit. It allows her to talk more freely, because when these signs go up, you know nobody can read your lips in front of the camera.
Because, I mean, a year, think of it, year and a half ago it started.
So something is going on with Time Traveler Boy. He's paying heavily to his cell phone, whatever it is he's looking at. Lady to the right, pink lady with the shades, the USA hat on. She is now paying more attention over her right shoulder, which would be in the direction of the building where the shooter is. Paying close attention to that side.
It really started from immediately after the election. You want to know the truth? But a year and a half ago, we were seeing crowds of people desperate to have rallies.
So Time Traveler Boy is wondering, hey, maybe we are behind schedule. Something's going on. Don't forget about Cowboy Bob is making his move now. He's pushing the lady on our right, Trump's left. He's trying to push her a little bit to the side so that he can actually get close to Time Traveler Boy. So you can see her kind of leaning her right shoulder, which is directly behind Donald Trump's left shoulder. She's being nudged forward. That tells me Cowboy Bob is moving.
Rallies, desperate to have anything to take back our country. And we're going to take it back.
And Time Traveler Boy is wondering why aren't the shots fired, because he's looking at the AGR building.
After the election, you want to know the truth, but a year and a half ago, we were seeing crowds of people desperate to have
It's like, why isn't this happening?
rallies, desperate to have anything to take back our country. And we're going to take it back. Next week, the Republican Party will hold its convention in Milwaukee.
So now Mean Tweet Girl is saying, is this going to happen or what? She's looking at Time Traveler Boy. When are they going to fire the shots?
To have anything to take back our country. And we're going to take it back. Next week.
Right here, sign is up, and she's talking to Time Traveler Boy saying, when is the time of the shooting?
The Republican Party will hold its convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And 5 days from now, we will officially accept the Republican nomination for president of the United States. Right? And we're going to get a good senator. I'll tell you, you have a real stiff right now in office. He's a stiff. You know, your current senator, I never met him. I don't think I've ever met him. I was only there 4 years.
So Cowboy Bob is now checking his notes from his hat to see where he's supposed to be.
We're going to get a good senator. I'll tell you, you have a real stiff right.
He's directly behind Donald Trump, so it's hard to see him, but you could see him looking into his hat for some reason.
Down in office, he's a stiff. You know, your current senator, I never met him.
Right now, he's taking a look at his hat.
I don't think I've ever met him. I was only there 4 years, but I don't think I ever met him. I'll tell you, that's your senator. He votes with Biden or whoever happens to be furthest left. We got to get him elected. McCormick. We got to get McCormick. Press McCormick. He's a good man, too. He's a valiant fighter. He's a great.
So let's see who's clapping here. Now we see Time Traveler Boy clapping, blonde girl clapping, and then girl wearing pink shades clapping.
We got to get him elected. McCormick. We got to get McCormick. Press McCormick. He's a good man, too. He's a valiant fighter. He's a great gentleman. So we're going to bring him up can we bring him up for a couple of minutes later, a little bit later? All right. You get ready, McCormick.
So now Cowboy Bob is looking to his right, wondering when the shots are coming. Mean Tweet Girl's talking to Time Traveler Boy.
You get ready. I'll get you up here.
And again, Cowboy Bob is directly behind Donald Trump, looking to his left, probably at Pink Lady sunglasses, and wondering what's going to happen if those snipers are in position over there. Are they setting up or whatever, just seeing if maybe they're not ready, they're not prepped, whatever. But he keeps looking past everyone on our left, his right, to see the AGR building, which probably he can't see anyway, but they're looking to the right a lot.
The world will see a vibrant Republican Party that is bigger, stronger, more confident, and more united than ever before. And that's what we are. We're the most united.
So now Time Traveler Boy talks to Mean Tweet Girl, and I think they're going to switch positions again. Cowboy Bob is looking again to his right to see what's going on over there. Same thing with girl in the front. She is looking to her right, almost at the same time looking to the AGR building. Same thing with Pink Lady and also the guy in our upper right. They're looking at the AGR building.
Party now, I'm watching the fake news go crazy because they're saying the Republican Party has not been united since Ronald Reagan like it is right now. It was united under Ronald Reagan the second time. It was very united.
So it's interesting that Donald Trump talks about Ronald Reagan, and Ronald Reagan was had an assassination attempt. And when you watch the footage, the security, the Secret Service actually grabbed Reagan, and a bunch of guys got shot. A couple of guys, Grady, I think, got shot in the brain, and Reagan also got shot in the ribs, and they threw him into the car and drove away within seconds. And people were tackling the shooter and holding him down while the president got away.
And they said there's never been anything like it. They've never seen a movement like this. Make America great again. You know, Joe Biden talks about we have to stop MAGA. MAGA means make America great again, Joe. It means make America
So, Time Traveler Boy is checking his cell phone to see what's going on.
great again. That's all we want to do.
I would have checked cell phones for Time Traveler Boy because I think he's a huge suspect in this one. Look at all the signs going up. Now they can all talk to each other freely without cameras. They could all be yelling at each other. Hey, this is about to happen any second now. Get into your position. Get ready.
If he was
Donald Trump is about to be assassinated.
doing the job, I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd be at some beautiful place with a gorgeous ocean, the Mediterranean, the Atlantic, maybe the Pacific. Thank you. Thank you.
So now Cowboy Bob is actually switching places, and he's going to be beside Time Traveler Boy.
And said I'm here with you fighting like
And he's trying to get the attention of Time Traveler Boy to say, I'm here.
hell to get a senator elected and to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it. And it's not easy because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people.
So there's also somebody with a headset on directly behind Donald Trump. He's got an earpiece in that's white. Looks like it's just a pair of earbuds or something. But Tweet Girl is trying to get attention, trying to get a hold of the guy with the earbuds.
Criminals. We have criminals. We have.
I don't want to hide from them anymore. What do we do?
Are we not men?
Drug dealers. We have people that should not be here. And it's much tougher than if it happened. We had the strongest border ever. In recorded history, we had the best border. In fact, if they could ever put up a chart, I don't know if they can do.
So for some reason, the lady to our bottom right is recording Time Traveler Boy and Mean Tweet Girl. For some reason, she's recording them. Don't know why. Who else do we have missing? We have Cowboy Bob, who's almost beside Time Traveler Boy. And we also have a guy with a pair of headphones directly behind Donald Trump, which is interesting because if you want to hear the speech, you don't put your headphones in. But he's the only guy that I've noticed that has earphones that are going all the way down to his phone. So who knows what kind of a feed he's getting.
Do you guys have access to that chart that I love so much? You don't mind if I go off teleprompter, do you? Because these teleprompters are so damn boring. I try and explain that. Oh, there's it. Wow. You guys are doing it. They're getting better with time. My guys, take a look at that chart. Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red?
So now Time Traveler Boy and Cowboy Bob are making direct eye contact. And lady to our right is looking towards the AGR tower. I think she's expecting something coming down the pipes.
Red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration.
Kind of a weird sign. This is what Donald Trump is known for. Peace sign, whatever.
Government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount.
It's like some kind of hand signal or something. I'm not into hand signals, but just kind of weird how he points and then does this little circle thing with his fingers. Anyways.
Amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country.
And he's pointing, strangely enough, at Time Traveler Boy, which is just purely coincidental.
Okay. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So we get our first shot. So notice Time Traveler Boy put his head down exactly when the shots are going to be fired. So and he doesn't flinch. So we're going to focus on what happened to Trump, and then we're going to come back and we're going to watch Time Traveler Boy. So this is at 6:22.
Government services comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Okay, let's back
President
up.
in the history of our country took over.
We're going to back up. Now we're going to watch Time Traveler Boy not even flinch.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
He's like the only guy that doesn't flinch at all. Everyone else does. Actor boy, Cowboy Bob, goes into full acting mode. Watch him. He doesn't even flinch. He's just looking around. What? So 15 seconds after the final shot from the gunman, a sniper to our right takes out the shooter. That's when the shooter got taken out. A single shot. So let's just back it up and then we'll go back to Time Traveler Boy. But count how many seconds go by after the last shot from the shooter.
Look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So shots fired. Now watch. Count 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then wait for another shot. Okay, that's also the shooter firing. He fired like 7 shots in total. Now count after these sets of shots. Count how many seconds before you hear a single shot fired from the snipers. Right there. So that was like 10 seconds later. Sniper finally took the shooter down. That's why they said, is the shooter down? Yes, shooter down. The shooter was not down before. The shooter is now down. This is important. A single shot by a sniper somewhere. Not sure if it's our right or if it's from the tower. Don't know. But the person on the shooter on the roof to our left, which we don't see here, was now taken out. Which is interesting, right? All right. So now let's go back to Time Traveler Boy, who does not flinch.
People. And you know, that's a little bit old. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Move it there. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go. Up. Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move it to the stand. Stair, get ready. Stair, get ready. We ready?
Because right now, to the crowd, everybody's probably thinking the president is dead or shot really, really, really bad. And you got one guy. If there's more shots going to be fired, have no idea, but they are unfazed.
Clear. We're clear. Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir. Hold that in your head. It's bloody. So we got to move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Okay. Watch out. Wait.
I think people are surprised now that Trump survived. And what's the deal with this one guy, sniper guy? I think they call him Hawkeyes or whatever, but he's got a gun pointed what looks like could be the windshield. He gets a call over his headset, and then he points the gun at the windshield and then changes his mind. Watch him to the right. Right here. Listens to his headset. Do you want me to take the shot? If you can. And goes to point. It's weird. And then doesn't. It is weird that there is 3 women on this side. Like I'm actually surprised because Donald Trump is a tall guy that you would use short people to protect him. Here comes more of SWAT team coming in. People are now mad at the media. It's crazy.
Honestly, it was so unbelievable. This is like but all of a sudden,
And to the right, somebody was hurt there as well in the bleachers. So now that we're seeing footage of the limousine or the car taking away President Trump.
Let me grab my shoes as they try to take them off. So we're just trying to figure out what happened.
So somebody's injured up there in the bleachers. What is interesting is that they said they didn't have enough police to protect the whole area, but they had all these police cars ready to rock and roll as soon as Trump got shot. Like, they're already ready to leave, but yet you can't have any police officers around the building. So it's kind of weird, right? Very strange stuff. Very strange. So what are your thoughts? What are your comments? Do you think this is planned? Is this an inside job? I feel heavily strong that this is an inside job, especially when you go back. Let's go back to, let me see if I could find this goofy guy. I don't know what his deal is. Okay, let's look at Cowboy Bob. Let's watch his reaction here, the way he looks. Tell me if this is a normal reaction when you are watching an assassination attempt. Cowboy Bob, and you'll see him. Here we go.
Happened.
Right there. That's Cowboy Bob. So watch his reaction. Looks to his right, looks back ahead. Right here, this is kind of suspicious here. Look at the way he looks to his right, straight ahead, to his left.
Moving spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go. Up.
Hawkeye's here.
Moving to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Shooters out. Shooters out.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Good to move. We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down.
Watch out.
So weird that Trump says, wait. I need my shoes. And then he's like, wait. And then go, like he could have been shot again easily. It's crazy.
Watch out.
So I don't know what time traveler boy is yelling. He's yelling something to the Secret Service.
I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
I don't know why he said, hold this in your hand. It's bloody. I don't know why he said that about the hat.
Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
Watch out.
Right there, time traveler boy yells something. It's almost like, take him out now. That's kind of weird. I don't know if that's what he's saying. I can't read lips, but what's he saying?
I got you, sir.
Maybe he's saying to the Secret Service, take him down, like as in get him off the stage. Don't know.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
Watch out.
Yeah, kind of weird. All right. So I don't know how I would react in that type of situation. kind of think I would duck down. I think that would be a natural reaction, is to duck under all the stuff going on. But it's weird, right? Weird stuff going on. Anyways, that's it for today's show. Hopefully you got something out of this. Maybe you've never seen this footage before. Maybe you didn't get a chance to watch the whole assassination attempt. And there's a few sketchy people. You know, I don't want to judge them right out of the gate, but it's just kind of bizarre. So tomorrow night at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard, we have our program called Rev 5. And we're going to be talking about whether or not America can revive again after this. Is there going to be a revival on our horizon from a Christian perspective, or is this a turnaround event where America will be great again, better, or are we expecting something worse to happen? So that's a good question. Let's just have a look here and see. I don't mind. We got a couple seconds here. Let's have a look. See if I can find her. She might have ducked down for all we know. Okay, so Pink, there she is with the glasses. She goes right down. There she is right there on the right side of the podium. Can you see that? Yeah, just the right side of the podium there. You can see just her pink lady sunglasses there. Almost like somebody fell on top of her.
Hold. When you're ready, on you. Ready? Move. Up. Move. Go. Up. Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move it to the stair. Stair, get ready. Stair, get ready. You ready? Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move? We're clear. We're clear. We're clear.
Somebody seems hurt here or something, because they're putting their arms around each other as almost like where the pink lady was, almost like they're trying to lift a person up or something. I don't know.
Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes. Hold that in your head. It's bloody. So we got to move to the bus.
Like, there's one guy clearly on his right-hand side. I don't know if he had a heart attack or what.
Watch out.
Just trying to see if we can see Pink Lady here. I don't see her. I don't know where she went. Anyways, yeah, kind of weird, right? All right. So just keep an eye if you have any footage that you want me to have a look at. Just send me a link in the Black Swan Diary 2022. So any news or anything like that. If you want to be a guest on this channel, you can also be a guest. And don't forget to join me tomorrow night, where we have a panel, talk about whether or not America can be revived, or is it over for America? Is it over? So again, 3 o'clock tomorrow. Let me just see if I can. 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So here, can you see this? Sunday, live on Rev 5, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard. I should have had that going the whole time. But there you go. Hope you got something out of this. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Join us. It's going to be lively. Very lively. Thanks for watching. So who's going to be on so far? I believe Amy Moosefeld's going to be on there. Myself, Gary Gates, Lee Brainerd is also going to be a guest, and then I'm not sure who the mystery guest could be. I'm not sure yet. Sometimes they come in at the last minute, so just stay tuned. But for sure, we got 4 people. Lee Brainerd's going to have some interesting insight as well, so make sure and join us tomorrow night. You won't regret it. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye for now.
Black Swan Revelations here on YouTube brought you today's mind-bending journey. Dive into the discussion, your comments, questions, prayer requests, and powerful testimonies of Jesus' love are what fuel this community. Did today's episode hit home? Smash that like button. New here? Subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss a live stream or a video upload. Thanks for being part of today's adventure. Catch you in the next video, or maybe even in the clouds. Stay curious, stay blessed.